No parent wants to ask for help, especially when it comes to their children. But I had no choice. I was scheduled for major surgery in less than 2 weeks. The doctors told me I would need several days in the hospital and weeks of recovery afterward. My twins were only 4 years old. They were energetic, curious, and too young to understand why mommy wouldn't be home. I had already arranged everything I could: meals, school pickups, neighbors willing to help for a few hours. But I still needed someone to stay with them while I was in the hospital. So, with a heavy heart, I called my parents. My mother answered cheerfully. When I explained the situation, her tone changed immediately. "Oh, those dates won't work." "Why?" I asked. "We've booked a vacation." I paused. "What about Dad? He doesn't want to cancel." I couldn't believe it. "This isn't a holiday. I'm having surgery." My father took the phone. "We've already raised our children. We're not raising yours." The words hit me harder than any diagnosis ever could. "I'm not asking you to raise them," I whispered. "I'm asking you to help for 3 days." There was a long silence. Then he said something I'll never forget. "Figure it out." The call ended. I stared at my phone, trying not to cry. My twins were playing on the living room floor, laughing without a care in the world. I smiled at them. But inside, I was falling apart. That evening, my grandfather called. He was 82 years old. He had somehow heard about the conversation. "I'll take care of the twins," he said. I almost laughed. "Grandpa, I can't ask you to do that." "You didn't ask." "I'm offering." I reminded him about his age, his aching knees, his doctor's appointments. He chuckled. "I may walk slower than I used to, but I still know how to love my family." Tears filled my eyes. During the week before my surgery, Grandpa came over every afternoon. He learned the twins' bedtime routine. He practiced making their favorite pancakes. He even learned how to braid my daughter's hair by watching online videos. The twins adored him. They called him their superhero. Watching them together gave me peace. For the first time since my surgery had been scheduled, I wasn't afraid. The morning of the surgery arrived. Grandpa stood at the front door holding both twins by the hand. "You focus on getting better," he said. "I've got everything else." The operation lasted nearly 6 hours. When I finally woke up, the first thing I asked was, "How are my babies?" The nurse smiled. "Someone's been sending us photos all day." She handed me my phone. There were dozens of pictures. Grandpa helping them make cookies, reading bedtime stories, building pillow forts, drawing pictures together. The twins were smiling in every photo. Not once did they look frightened. Not once did they seem alone. Grandpa had kept every promise. Then I noticed something strange. There was one message from my parents. It simply read, "Hope everything went well." Nothing more. No visit. No phone call. No offer to help. Just one sentence. I quietly put the phone away. A month later, after I had fully recovered, our extended family gathered to celebrate Grandpa's birthday. Everyone was there, including my parents. They acted as though nothing had happened. My mother chatted happily with relatives. My father laughed at old stories. No one mentioned my surgery. No one mentioned the twins. Halfway through dinner, Grandpa slowly stood up. He tapped his glass with a spoon. "I'd like to say a few words." The room fell silent. He smiled warmly. "Family isn't tested when life is easy." He looked directly at my parents. "It's tested when someone needs you." The atmosphere changed instantly. Every conversation stopped. Everyone knew exactly where this was going. Grandpa turned toward me and my twins, then back to my parents. When my grandchild needed surgery, they didn't ask for money. They didn't ask for gifts. They asked for 3 days. He paused. "And you said no." My parents looked down. No excuses came. No explanations. Grandpa continued, "I've lived long enough to know something. The people who show up during your hardest days, that's your real family." The room was completely silent. Even my twins sensed the seriousness. My daughter quietly reached for Grandpa's hand. My son hugged his leg. Grandpa smiled at them. Then he looked at my parents one last time. "You missed something money can never replace." They'll remember who held them when they were scared. My parents had no words, only tears. As dinner ended, my parents finally walked over to me. My father struggled to speak. "I'm sorry." My mother wiped away tears. "We were selfish." I listened quietly. Then I looked toward Grandpa, who was laughing with the twins across the room. You know what hurts the most? I asked softly. You weren't too busy. You just decided we weren't important enough. Neither of them argued, because they knew it was true. Over time, we slowly rebuilt our relationship. But trust doesn't return overnight. It grows through actions, not promises. Years later, my twins barely remember my surgery. But they never forgot Grandpa. They still talked about the pancakes he burned, the bedtime stories he invented, the blanket forts they built together. And every time I smiled while telling those stories, I realized something. The greatest gift Grandpa gave us wasn't babysitting. It was showing my children what unconditional love looks like. As for my parents, the look on their faces when Grandpa spoke that night was unforgettable. Not because they were embarrassed, but because for the first time, they finally saw the cost of choosing convenience over family. And sometimes, the strongest lesson isn't shouted. It's spoken quietly by the one person who never stopped showing up.
The subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a new emotional story. Your support means more than words can say, and it helps us continue bringing these untold stories to life.